It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. And today is all about self-love. And self-love, it comes in many forms. For some, it is as simple as grounding themselves in their garden or the plants they have indoors. Now today in studio to help us unpack this little topic, in fact, it's not a little topic, it is a big and important one. We have content creator and gardening expert, Asadullah Parker himself in studio. It's so great to have you here. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me again. I'm excited for today's episode.
Oh, listen, this is exciting because plants, I love them. I love the thought of them, and often I tend to kill them. So I'm here to learn, and I might be a bit selfish in my direction of questions, because plants, it really is such a wonderful way to not only improve your immune system, but also to help you relieve stress. It creates a sense of responsibility. It enhances the sensory system and so many others. But Asadullah, I want to know from you, for someone that is starting off with, what would you recommend in terms of looking for a plant when they go to a nursery? What is a great plant to get your fingers going?
Okay, if they want to start growing indoors, like, you know, you want to have house plants to beautify your home and make you feel that good energy, you know, then I would go with a Montessori deliciosa, also known as delicious monster, also known as cheese plant.
Ah, do people call it cheese plant?
Swiss cheese plant.
Swiss cheese
because
plant.
it has holes in the leaves.
Okay.
And you'll find this common across all the nurseries, that they will stock this plant, and that's because it's so easy to grow. You just need to make sure that you have adequate lighting, which is a window. So they don't like direct sunlight, but they do very well in direct sunlight. And then when it comes to outdoor gardening, if you are growing for sustenance, vegetables, herbs, I would highly recommend growing a chili plant, because that plant is very forgiving. It's very hard to kill a chili plant.
Okay. And mint, because I remember trying my own herb garden and everything else burnt in the sun and died, but the mint went crazy.
Was it close to maybe a tap? It grows really well. It likes moist.
It was close to a tap.
Yeah. So with a chili plant and mint, it's something that we don't use a lot of. So even if you don't get it right, maybe you don't grow it very well, the common household doesn't consume that many chilies. So even if you don't grow the chili plant or the mint that well, you produce more than you consume. So that's very nice.
Oh, well, there we go. So, of course, when it comes to tending towards your plants, whether it's indoor or outdoor, is it a case of potting soil being one size fits all, or do you need to look out for specific things when you get your potting soil?
So generally, most vegetables love a loamy soil, and when this loamy soil is a kind of in between sandy soil, which is very loose and well draining, and clay soil, which holds a lot of moisture. So you know, in gardening we use this doing the sausage test to find out what is the ideal soil. So you'd take your soil and you'd form a sausage with it.
Okay.
Right? And it's supposed to, if it creates a sausage, if it holds that shape, it's good. But if you try to bend the sausage, it breaks. So that means it's not that much clay that it will bend.
Okay.
And it's not that sandy that it doesn't form the sausage. So that's the perfect ideal soil. And then there are exceptions, like carrots like a more sandy soil, roses like a more clay soil, things like that.
So it's all about the type of plant you're trying to nurture.
Yeah.
And I believe you have a little bit of a demo to show us today. What would you like us? Because I mean, for me, I'm here to learn any tips and tricks I can from you.
Okay, I can offer some tricks. Like if you're starting off, I brought some of my chili plants. They are a bit small because they are not in season yet, so they're still busy growing. That's something also as a newbie gardener to be conscious of your seasons. When you're planting seeds, if the weather is too cold, and it's a warm, loving plant, it might not grow too well or might not grow at all. So I have chili plants over here. And then this is also something nice that you could get by nurseries, a lettuce pack. So this is a variety of 6 different lettuces. And it's also a situation where if you are growing these 6 lettuces, you will be producing more lettuce than you'd normally consume if you're having it on a sandwich or whatever. If you're somebody that has salads daily, though, then might not be enough. You'd want to plant more.
Or you could give it to your neighbors or your friend. Be generous with your
Oh,
produce.
yeah, I love to do that as well. People come in to visit the house and they see your beautiful garden, and you sharing that love with them. You know, you put a lot of love into your garden, and when you share that vegetables with them, it's, you know, you're sharing the love, literally.
And I've been on the receiving end. My uncle has a lemon tree, so I get a lot of lemons whenever they come to visit, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
And then for those newbie gardeners that have a problem with overwatering their plants, I don't know if you'd recognize this bag.
I do. Those are the Woolies black shopping bags
Yeah.
that we always forget and then have to buy more.
Yeah, so I like using these bags. Firstly, when you grow in, this is rosemary, by the way. This is another herb that grows very well. Give it some time to grow, and the bush will be that big that it will produce more rosemary than you could consume. So then you always have a constant supply of rosemary, whereas buying a piece like that at the store will be like 15 to 20 rand. You know, it's something, you're saving that trip to the store, you're adding flavor to your food, you're saving money.
And you'll always have rosemary in your garden.
Yes.
Oh. So you, by planting the rosemary in the Woolies black bag, is that a great way to ensure there's proper drainage so that you don't end up overwatering your plants?
Yes. And similar to the chili plant, it's also, the rosemary plant is also a type of plant that doesn't love too much water.
Okay.
So it's very easy to get it wrong if you're growing in a plastic pot that doesn't have enough drainage, or if you're growing in ground and you maybe get a lot of rain and it gets waterlogged, it might not perform very well. With the Woolworths bag, there's plenty of drainage, but at the same time, if you do, you asked me about the potting soil.
Yes.
Getting a potting soil that retains water very nicely, while at the same time releasing the water when there's excess. So you'd find that around the 45 Rand upward range when you go into a nursery to buy. Anything cheaper than that, you get in an inferior quality soil, and you might have problems down the line. Things can grow in it, but not as well as your premium potting soils.
Oh, well, Asadullah, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your knowledge, and of course, encouraging us to get our fingers dirty and to really get, what is the term that they say? Is it green thumbs?
Yeah, green thumbs.
To get your thumbs green, like, you know what I mean, but get your hands dirty, but also just really enjoy what Mother Nature has on offer, whether you can plant indoor or perhaps in your own garden. We really hope that just spending some time along with greenery will really get you to really tap into that self-love and nurturing side that we all have within us. Asadullah, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you learned something new too.